Oh, that's actually tasty. I don't think I've said that about beer before. Drink responsibly, kids. When most people think of the term consent, they think of a sexual context or a sexual connotation. However, it does not need to be a sexual situation to discuss consent. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in this video, because I feel that a lot of you either don't have an older sibling, a parent that you feel comfortable talking about with this stuff, or just generally maybe you don't see what's happening, or maybe you're doing these things yourself and you don't intend to. But I want to talk about this. It's something that can not only just happen to women, it can happen to men too, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with anything with romance or anything like that, but it's something that I've seen pervasive within the gaming community, and more specifically the 5M community or the GTA roleplay genre. Roleplay as a general genre, niche, whatever. I want to impart a little nugget of wisdom. I'm not saying that I know everything, but these are things that I think are just common sense, and because Fred Rogers is dead and apparently people's parents are teaching them this stuff, I felt it appropriate to make this video. So topic number one that I want to talk about is no means fucking no. I can't express it enough. No means no. It doesn't just apply to sex, it applies to everything in life. Unless it's a situation where you have to cross that threshold with somebody that you are related to, somebody you live with, somebody you are doing business with, a situation where you might have to have a tough conversation and somebody says, no, not right now. But every time you go to bring up the conversation, they avoid it and they say, no, not right now. There are going to be some times where no doesn't always mean no or doesn't apply. However, when it comes to the meat and potatoes of everyday living, especially in particular when it comes to consenting about doing insert thing, doesn't matter what it is. It could be simple as, hey, let's go out, and you say no. And your friend is like, well, are you sure? We could go to the supermarket, we could go to the mall, we could go, who does that these days? You could go to the movie theaters, you could go, do this whole host of different things. But you say, nah, I don't feel like it. Don't really want to do it today. No, I'll pass, but thanks. That person keeps consisting and they keep doing it over and over again. Like, hey, like they come back 30 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 5 later, and they keep coming back and you keep saying no. Eventually you're going to get annoyed. Eventually you're going to get miffed. Why are you going to get miffed? It's because you already said no. The average person in society has this concept on lock and understood from the ripe old age of 6. However, some people apparently have not gotten it through their thick skulls. So I am telling you this as nicely as I can, but also with a little bit of a blunt edge to say that no does in fact mean no. And in particular, to just put the nail in the coffin or hit the nail on the head with this one. In roleplay, when somebody says, hey, do you want to do insert scene or insert storyline? I don't care what it is. If you say, no, I really don't want to do that, and the person keeps persisting, do not wait until it gets to the point of we're on the 10th time saying no. Just flat out say no. Now, you might be asking, well, winners, what happens if they come to you and they say, but why not? Well, you have two options, and I would genuinely advise you to go for option A, and that's say, well, I don't want to for insert reason. Maybe you don't feel like it, just the same as going out the house. Maybe you don't feel like it that day. Maybe it's not a good time. Maybe you need to take a rain check. Maybe, you're not feeling up to it, not feeling the best, whatever. That's entirely okay. If the person continues to persist after you've already told them no and given them a reason why, they don't care about your feelings. If it's like you're on the 3rd or 4th time of saying no, then they don't care about your feelings. And I also would add to this conversation that you cannot blame somebody for what they don't know. So if you've gotten to a point where somebody is continuously asking you something and you've tried to throw them a hint here or there, You need to be direct with them, especially if it's something that makes you feel unsafe. I'm going to say it again, especially if it is something that makes you feel unsafe. If it's a situation you don't want to be in, if it's sexual, if it's romantic, if it's triggering in some fashion, shape, or form, if it's about a topic that's going to be triggering, you have the right to say no. And I think people don't realize this, they don't understand this concept. There are some people you're going to run into in not only just the online world, but in life. There's going to be people that you're going to run into that don't mean you well. And that brings me back to my next topic, which is not everybody you meet is your friend. Just because you interact with somebody on a daily basis, doesn't mean that they're your friend. It's just as simple as that. You might game with somebody over the years, and you all might play a game together, be a part of a community, what have you. But just because you two interact with each other does not make you friends, and furthermore, it does not give you the right to call them in the middle of the night. It does not give you the right to ask them for personal advice on personal matters. And to jump back to the don't just say no thing, if they tell you no, or I don't want to do that, you should honor and respect that, and the same rules of no, quote unquote rules of no, apply. So not everybody you meet is your friend. Don't assume just because you watch a YouTuber that you know them. Don't assume that everybody wants to hang out with you. If you hit it off with somebody, great. But you have to take the time to actually build a relationship with somebody, rather than just assuming, oh yeah, I've done a couple of I've done a couple of RP scenes with this person, or oh, I've been in a couple of Helldivers matches with this guy. We must be friends now, right? Because we've been in more than one lobby together. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't guarantee you or give you the right to just basically claim them as your friend. And a lot of times I will see this spiral into something else, where people assume the first available person nearest to them is their free therapist. Now, there are some people in life who are gracious enough to be able to have the bandwidth and wherewithal, and when I talk fast I get a little bit of a stutter, they have the wherewithal to have hard conversations or be a shoulder for, their friends to cry on or just to vent, what have you. But everybody is human and everybody has their limits. Particularly, I notice this with men doing this to women, but it can happen to anybody of any gender. Not all nice women are your free therapists. It's the truest words ever put on a t-shirt, and I absolutely believe in it, and I'm guilty of it myself. I've done it in the past. You might mean well, just keep it in mind that not all nice women are your free therapists. Now, finally, if you are interacting with somebody, I'm going to say it again, if you are interacting with somebody and they are making you uncomfortable in a way that is reasonably, objectively concerning, to the point where your friends are concerned, where multiple people have told you they are concerned, or even if it's not at that point, but you're the only one who knows about it, but they're making you uncomfortable and they're asking you to do things that you have said no to, contact a staff member. If that staff member does not take your concerns seriously, go up the chain, find somebody who's over their head. If they're not taking your concerns seriously, you need to leave that situation. And, I understand that in life, maybe you have a job where that's not an option. I'm just saying, strictly in the online world, get yourself out of that situation as quickly as possible. And if you find yourself listening to this advice going, oh, I've done these things before, it is perfectly okay. Everybody is human, and it happens. But I need you to understand, these are not okay things to do, especially if they're incessant or obsessive. And I need you to take a step back and try not to recreate the problem. Try not to do it again. Try to actually better yourself. Try to take steps towards being a better person. And if you find that these are bad habits that you have a hard time breaking, you need to seek professional help, or at very least talk with your family. But to continue to pretend that it's not something that you do is not only going to be detrimental to others, but it's going to be detrimental to you, because you're going to burn out your entire friend group and nobody is going to like you, and you are going to be alone and miserable, and nobody wants that. So, again, just to cover the topics that we've talked about today, not everybody is your friend. Not all women are free therapists, or men for that matter. Not all nice people are free therapists, is a better way of putting that. No means no, and it doesn't just apply to sex. If someone's pushing your boundaries, tell somebody, either you're related to, a friend, somebody close to you, and or tell a staff member if it's an online setting. And if nothing is done about it, or if you have the ability, the capability, leave the situation. Once again, I'm Winternuke. I appreciate your time. Hopefully this was helpful. Remember, stay you, do your own thing, follow your own movement, stay queer, quirky, nerdy. I love you. Game on. Goodbye.